What are the nightclubs you can remember, Mike Fitzpatrick?
Silvers.
I just like
about it.
I just like that I've got that on the record. That you saying Silvers is enough for
Silvers.
me. Michael Fitzpatrick, thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for taking me for a drive.
Thanks, Sam.
Can I go straight to Fitzy or not? You're a bit precious about...
Skipper is. That was my...
Well, you weren't my skipper though, were you?
No, that's true. Fitzy's fun.
1975 to 1983, you were 22 when you started and you were 30 when you finished.
Yep.
So my question is, why so late to start, why so early to finish?
Well, I came from Subiaco and I'd played 97 games there. So I hadn't exactly been playing netball or anything for the first, until I was 22.
You would have made a hell of a wing attack, by the way, too. When you play 97 games in the Waffle, did you have a time when you thought you're not going to play in the VFL? 97 games is a lot. That's almost a career.
Yeah, I started when I was 17. I finished uni in 74. I'd had a bit of interest from Victorian clubs, but Carlton was always the one I wanted to go to. And we had a pretty good year. We had a...
That'll be the wrong one.
Yeah, that'd be right.
Your indicator is on your right, Mike.
Right, okay.
You just take some direction for once. You made your debut, I think it was round 1 of 75 against Geelong.
Yeah,
You kicked 4 behind.
that's right.
Is that playing in the ruck, or was there a bit of time down forward, obviously?
There's a bit of time lying on the bench in the change rooms because I got knocked out by Gunnar Scarlett running into an open goal where he had the choice of tackling me or hitting me in the head. He decided to hit me in the head. And I woke up in the change rooms at half time with the smelling salts.
Oh, old school.
Yeah, it was old school. And I was lucky to get 4 kicks, let alone kick 4 points.
You come back on?
Well, we had 2 hamstrings, so I had to go back on.
It's just for everyone. It's a different time back then.
It's a different time.
You're allowed to come back on.
It was a different time. You're allowed to come back on, that's right.
Then in your second game, you kicked 5. So
Kick 5 against Collingwood.
Yeah. 75 was your debut. You played plenty of games. Now, 76 to 78.
Bit messy. At the end of the season at 75, a week after it finished, I was in Oxford. And
I've got to question your commitment to the club, Mike. I'm sorry.
yeah, well, that was the deal.
Now, when Carlton grabbed you, they knew you were going to go study.
They knew
Okay.
that.
And of course, famously under a Rhodes Scholarship.
Yep.
One of the most prestigious scholarships in the.
Correct.
And now, am I correct in saying that with Rhodes Scholarships there has to be a sporting component as well?
Sporting or community?
Tell me you rowed at Oxford. Were you a rower?
I did. I rode 2 years.
Of course you did.
Of course we did.
Yeah,
Which
right.
from a kid from a state school, that was pretty impressive. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, well, I've always thought of rowing as a people's sport.
When I came back halfway through 76 at Carlton's invitation.
With massive thighs.
And I'd been rowing. And, it's mid-season, all the guys are sort of, they're pretty tired and worn out by mid-season.
Came back
it's
fresh.
wet, and I was as fresh as a daisy.
Oh, that's great.
So came back and I was running around like a 2-year-old for the 9 games or so. And then we got to the finals, and they were suddenly on the up.
And you would...
Oh, I wasn't. And then I did finals in 78, finished by June, early June, so came back, played a game in the 2s, and then was named against Collingwood the next week, but managed to turn up late for Jez's address by 5 minutes, and Keith McKenzie was waiting for me, and he said, "Oh, Jez is not happy, so get in there." And Jez says, "Right, you're on the bench, and I won't play you the rest of the year." And he didn't, and I played I think 7 games in the 2s.
So that inspired you to play all games in 79, or did you think, no, I'm going to
I knew I had to. They thought about North made an offer for me, I think, and Wes was tempted, I think, and I felt, I just had to do the right thing by them. They'd always done the right thing by me, and basically got back in the side.
That's a real, they talk about a sliding doors moment where you're in the 2s for the back part of 78. North come to you. There's a chance you go. He said, "No, I'm staying." And then a year later, you're playing a Premiership. Do you ever think about that?
And I was first and best.
Yeah, I was going to get to that, but that's fine. You've led with it. Yes, 79.
That was some game, that.
79, yeah. So give us your recollections of 79. Grand final, Carlton versus Collingwood.
Didn't sleep a lot. You're going into the game, you walk into the MCG, your first grand final, and you're sort of going, this will be an experience.
It's a long way from the twos when last year.
It's a long way from the twos.
Yeah, wow. Where were you when Harmsy missed kicks and chases down his own kick and then hits it to
I was
Sheldon?
right behind him.
Yeah? Can you believe that after winning the Premiership in 1979 that Jez is not there in 1980?
Yeah, look, I think for anybody that played in that side, that was one of the great disappointments. And it was politics.
So Jez is gone, Purse is in as coach, and you are captain. A great honour or any
I thought
trepidation,
it was a great honour, but I think we're all still a bit bruised from the whole the politics of the summer.
There was no palpable feeling that you shouldn't have been the captain, was there? You didn't get that feeling, did you? From your teammates?
No, I didn't. They seemed to accept it. Whether they thought it was a good idea or not, they kept to themselves.
Do you think you're a good choice to be captain? Do you think?
Then it was a bit hard. I mean, they could have taken any one of 5 or 6 guys.
What was your perspective on the famous mosquito fleet?
Well, they made us look good, the Rucks. They were just terrific. Basically, if you could hit the ball broadly in their direction, they'd get it, and they'd run about 60 metres, bouncing the ball and kick a goal, and come back, and you'd hardly moved.
And you can stand there and go, "Well, I started all that."
I started all that.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Until they point out that the same thing happened when I lost the centre bounce.
I feel obliged to ask you about round 20 against Essendon in 1981 when you get done for time wasting.
I only took 50 seconds.
You plan on wasting time?
Yeah, I was looking to run the clock down. I think we were already at about the 28-minute mark or so, which in those days, meant a minute or so left. And so the correct call, of course, the umpiring call under the rules was play on.
Ah.
And Robinson just invented his own rule for the day. We'd gone into time on 4 goals up and we lost by a point. Now, as I always point out, we did win the grand final that year, so who cares? But there's a lot of Essendon people who don't see it that way.
In 82, you win another premiership. Famously, though, you kick the goal in the third quarter that inspires Helen D'Amico to streak.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I never related the two.
Jono defends his actions that day trying to get her off the field because he says we were on a roll.
No, Jono's right.
Yes.
Absolutely. We're on a roll, and I think to a man we would have looked at that and said, get rid of this. We just want to play footy.
1982, you're standing on the podium with Parkin. 1 year later, career's over.
Yep.
So you play an elimination final against Essendon, we get done. Did you know that was going to be your last game?
It was highly likely, yeah. I'd struggled through the year. The ankle reconstruction had sort of... I was probably jumping about a foot or two less, and I was probably a yard or so slower.
Yeah, but you're only 30 though, Mike. You never coached, did you?
No.
Never thought about it?
Got an offer.
From?
Got an offer to coach one of the league sides. It would have been around the end of 82, I think.
And?
Didn't take it.
Politely declined.
Yep.
What about it? Well, so you were going to go straight from being a premiership captain straight into coaching? Or playing coach, was it?
Well, that was the offer. I wasn't going to do it.
And you're not going to name the club?
No.
It was North Melbourne.
I'm not going to name the club.
It's Richmond.
I don't think I would have been a great coach. So
this whole chat has been building up to my big question. Mike Fitzpatrick. Are you Chinese?
Not that I know of.
Because I refer to this. I refer to your footy card from. I think it's 79 or 80. Where are we over there? Have a look at that, mate.
I think that's a better moustache than most Chinese guys have.
Yeah, what happened to them? There's another thing I've got a bone to pick with you too.
Had to go.
Well, yeah, but your hair's grey as well. So
yeah, but they went grey before the hair did.
Okay. Oh, so you had a grey moustache with dark hair?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You made a good decision then. That's a good decision. So just on the record, you're not Chinese?
Not that I know of. No, we don't know. I mean, if it's there, it comes from a long way back.
You like yum cha?
I do, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that mean much?
It means everything.
Yeah.
Mike Fitzpatrick, 3-time Premiership player, Premiership captain, best and fairest in a Premiership year, all that stuff. I just want to say sincerely, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
Pre-match routine. What do you do on the Saturday morning of a game?
Whew.
Long division.